I invited him to a presentation, he didn't show up. I called him, he said he couldn't show up, something happened, I invited him again, he didn't show up. I called him again, he said something showed up, it couldn't happen, he called him again, he didn't show up. By the 7th time I called this guy and didn't show up, I realized this is a 2 of clubs, it's not an ace. And when you're talking to someone and you find out that you didn't find yours, here's what you need to do. You take the 2 of clubs and you throw it as far as possible from you. And your success in this business is going to come from the speed at which you could go from person to person and move on to the next until you find the ones that want it more than you wanted for them. Second person, you're going to talk with the 5 of hearts. At the end of the presentation, you're going to look at you and say, it's a scam. It's a pyramid. And you can look at this person like Nathan Bloomberg says and say, obviously it's a scam. 23 governments and countries are in on this scam. Donald Trump is in on the scam. Fortune magazine, Success magazine, all these magazines are in on the scam. You're the only one that's not in on the scam. Get rid of that person. Next person you talk to is the 6 of hearts. I remember this guy. He was one of the first people I spoke to. I still see him as a good friend of mine. He's an Armenian guy. I'll share this story. His name is Hai. No joke. His name is Hai. Every time I see him, I'm like, Hai, Hai. That's his name, right? And I remember he's one of the first guys I actually spoke to. I call him, I go, Hi, I saw where we could get rich, da, da, da. I met this guy in Dunkin' Donuts, and when I sat down with him, I remember this like it was yesterday. You're going to run into some people like that. I drew a circle. I go, this is you. And before I gave him the name of the company, before I talked about any of the products, I took his hand, he slammed it on the table, he goes, don't do this. I'm like, don't do what? You don't even know what it is. He goes, don't do this. I go, why? He goes, my aunt did something like this, she lost $50,000. Yeah, I was brand new. I'm like, what'd she do? She signed up 1,000 times? What'd she do? I told her I'm not the smartest guy in the world. It took me like 10 years to find out you would only need to sign up 100 times. But you take Hai. Let me just tell you the story about this guy. Hai, 10 years later, is the manager of customer satisfaction for one of the companies that ASIM represents. So when thousands of people pay their bills and he makes sure they're happy, I get paid. This is what happened to Hai. Next person we talked to is a queen. Queen is great. She gets into the business. She becomes an ETL. She's coming every week at the meeting. She's happy. But she's not one of the DCs that you need to find for you to be successful. So you keep the queen. It's great. She makes part-time income. She's happy. But if you want to go all the way up to RVP, if you want to go all the way up to SVP, you're going to need to find people that become team coordinators and above. People that want this for themselves more. So you're still looking for those aces. The next person you talk to is the 4 of hearts. I remember this. You're showing this business to someone in a Starbucks. And in the middle of the presentation, the Starbucks owner or something comes out, or the manager looks at you and goes, you're running a scam in my Starbucks, get out of here. If this never happened to you, you're not working hard enough. Next person I showed this to is the 7 of clubs. I remember this like it was yesterday. I still talk to this guy, he's one of my best friends, his name is Vince. At my first PBR, he came, he was in the room. At the end of the presentation, he ran in the front, he signed up, he just didn't have his credit card. He goes, look, I'm signing up, this is amazing, we're gonna do this together. I'm so happy because one of my friends was gonna do this with me. The next day, when my phone rang and I thought it was him, it wasn't him. It was his mother. I answer the phone, I go, Vince? And I hear, it's not Vince, it's Denise. I go, hey Denise, how are you? She goes, not good. I go, why? She goes, you brought my son to see a thing last night. I'm like, yeah, cool, you want to do it too? Or what's up? She's like, no, I don't want to do it, I don't want him to do it, I don't want you to do it either. And I'm like, why? She goes, because I did my research. I'm like, what did you find out? Because I didn't do mine. You know what I'm saying? She goes, they're lying to you. She hasn't even seen a presentation, right? She goes, they're lying to you. I go, really? What are they saying? They're telling you you're going to be rich. You're going to make millions of dollars. They're telling you you're going to be financially free, that it's all easy. But the reality is that there's a lot less than 1% of people that ever do network marketing that become millionaires. And they're lying to you. And she kept on going and going. The only thing I was thinking was, what? I could make $1 million doing this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?